And just like that, we are back. Welcome to Chronicles of Power, a podcast dedicated to the world of power where I review and break down the latest episode in the Powerverse. We are brought to you by Private Listed, your source for all things music, sports, culture, and entertainment. Hit us up on the socials at PVTLSTD or hit me directly at Keemie Cakes, Keemiecakes on IG. Did you also know that we are on YouTube? We have a new YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when new episodes drop and also when I drop new interviews. So I know that you know that last week we were on a break, so I didn't get to do episode 3 because we dropped our Petey McGee interview. So this week we're going to review really quickly episode 3 and do a deeper dive into episode 4, only because it's fresher on the mind. And I'll do like my quick points for episode 3, similar to what we did for episodes 1 and 2. So I am your host, Keemie, and thank you for joining me as we analyze Mr. Tariq and the rest of the drug dealing Avengers. On this episode, though, I do have a special guest in studio with me. Her name is Mema, and she is the lady who does all of my wonderful looks. She does my makeup. She makes sure I look pretty and not haggard every time y'all see me on the camera. But please introduce yourself to the people of Chronicles of Power. Go ahead, Mema.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mema. A lot of people know me like Mema Creations.
There we go. Follow her on Instagram, Mema Creations. You'll see her. She got a real big following. But we are pressed for time, so I am going to run down some things for you, and I hope you all enjoyed and you listened to the Petey McGee interview and you enjoyed it as much as I did. He was extremely open and an absolute pleasure to talk to. I know a lot of people, including the person beside me, has some issues with the character Salim Ashe Freeman. And don't forget that I'm putting my fist in the air just to salute Mr. Salim. I know a lot of people have some issues with his character, but the interview that I did with the actual person and the actor playing Salim was really great, and he was a dope individual. So please don't make it personal when you guys are coming in my comments talking about him. But whatever the case is, it's me and Mema, and we're going to break down 303 and 304. And let me just give you guys some quick points. So just in case you don't remember what happened in 303. So I have like 7 quick takeaways. So Tariq and, like I told y'all, the rest of the drug dealing Avengers, they have to find a way to move Noma's product. So they come up with Starbucks for drugs, right? So they make a whole app. You order your drugs with your coffee, and that is their new ploy to move drugs within Weston Holdings and all of the businesses within that building. So it's a good front for them. No more course correct. Now they have, what's the name of the druggy thing? Druggy Bucks? So I'm just going to call it Druggy Bucks for now, okay? Druggy Bucks is what Tariq and them are using. And then Tariq also meets a character by the name of RSJ, and we all can tell that this person is supposed to be based around Robert F. Smith. So for those of you who don't know who Robert F. Smith is, he runs a huge fund. He is the richest black man in America. And he was the one who donated all of that money to Howard. Remember, he did the Howard commencement speech, and they even make mention of it in the episode where they talk about RSJ doing something similar, right? But whatever the case is, Drew is on a mission to be in one of these prep commercials because he is humping everybody. And then he realizes...
I can't.
You have to see. This is probably one of those episodes where we should have had a camera, but Mema's face right now.
Because.
Okay, so Drew is on a humping spree, and like I said, he's trying to be on a commercial right now. So he realizes that Frank's son, who is gordo, and if you guys don't know what gordo means in Spanish, it means like big or fat, right? And he realizes that gordo, who lost a whole bunch of weight, he spots the tattoo on the Grindr profile, and he realizes that he has a crush on him, right? So that's what that whole thing with the tattoo was. See, Mema, she didn't even realize that what was happening. Her mouth just fell open. All right. So what else is happening with Drew? So Kane invites the brothers, right? So Gordo and his brother into their operation. This is Frank's son. So remember who Frank is. Frank is the guy who Kane ended up killing for snitching. And his mother came to talk to Monet. She wanted to know what happened to her husband, how he went missing. And we all know, right? We know that Monet and her family is behind it by way of Tariq calling out that Frank was a snitch. Tariq always finds a way to get in the mix, don't he?
He do.
He always finds a way. But anyway, so remember, the mother is the one from New York Undercover. I can't remember her name in this show, so if you keep hearing me call her Torres, it's because that was her name in New York Undercover. But in the episode, she also mentions to Monet that her sons have a good operation going in Brooklyn, and this is what gives Kane the idea to bring them into the fold, and that's why Kane was forcing their hand by making Braden kill their Russian connect, because he wanted to force them to work with them. But when he made Braden the assassin, he severely misjudged Braden's character here, because Braden couldn't do it, and then Tariq saw him freeze up, runs over. Nobody in power wears a mask. Nobody covers their face. They just straight kill people in front of a church in almost like you could just be outside and they just gonna shoot. Don't matter who's around. And then they can run into a restaurant, tuck their gun away, and just sit down to eat. That's how it works in Powerland. You know what? At this point, I've said to myself, am I going to question all of the crazy things that they did? And also, you know what? I have to make a correction from one of the things that I said in the recap for episodes 1 and 2. Drew did not push the guy in front of the B-46 bus. He pushed him in front of a truck. I said B-46, but it was a truck. It wasn't a bus. Somebody corrected me. Thank you. It was a truck. And I actually went back and rewatched the episode because I was so pissed that he pushed somebody and then all of these people were around and nobody saw him fade into the shadows. Let me calm down. Whitman. Remember, we're still on episode 3. I'm going to run through it. We're almost there. Whitman gets suspended for harassing Monet. I don't even know how they pulled that off, but he got suspended, right? And then Saxe and his sneaking self took pictures of Tariq, Monet, and Davis all in the office together. Now, why is this a big deal? Why could this be the big smoking gun? I have no idea, because we all know that Tariq is a client and we know that Monet is a client, but I'm guessing all of them together at one time seems a little suspicious, considering that we know that Monet is affiliated with a huge drug dealer and she's a part of a huge drug organization. So having a 19-year-old in the office with her kind of seems a little weird, but I mean, they do have connection, right? Because Tariq used to be Zeke's tutor and he only knows of Monet through Zeke, and maybe Tariq referred Davis McLean to Monet, right? So maybe he did that. That's the only thing that I could come up with, I think. But anyway, the thing that has had people on fire, and it didn't happen in this episode, right? Because we didn't see him. So Reggie Noble is no longer there. For those of you who don't know who Reggie Noble is, Redman is no longer playing Method Man's brother. And at this point, I don't think the case is that serious anymore now that they switched the person, because
he's just random. That guy, that
new
guy,
just came out of nowhere.
I used to have the biggest crush on Redman in high school. That's how I know his government name.
Oh, so that's why you knew who Reggie Noble was. But I had no clue what was happening. So until Saxe said the height difference thing, I was like, oh, they changed the actor. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what the hell? And then, like, when so I did have to do a rewatch of the episode. In the beginning, so they have like scenes where they say previously on Power. They showed the new actor on the mugshot in the picture, and I was like, oh, okay, they changed the actor, so we were supposed to know that. Okay, but anyway, he confronts Davis about letting his sick brother rot in jail, and Davis just like, yo, just get the file and get him out of there. But whatever the case is, we move on to Tate. What did Tate do in episode 3? Tate is the one that let it slip that the good brother Tariq is interning at the Weston Holdings. So he's the one that told Jenny and them that. And so now they know that he's back with Brayden, and just to be suspicious of him. And then, of course, to Diana starts dating Salim, who is everyone's favorite. But after she starts dating him, after he tells her that he Googled her and her pops, and then at the end, Big Poppy stops by to her dorm room and makes her sell drugs because now he's under Kane's thumb because he has to sell the drugs that Kane is making him sell, and they can't move it fast enough, and they need to have all of the money for Noma because remember they had in the beginning they showed them all the pictures. They showed Orphan Annie. He called Effie Orphan Annie. And the people that he will kill in case she didn't come up with the right amount of cash was Brayden and Tariq, and then Kane, they would kill Diana, and Brayden, who would they say they would kill? His brother? I can't remember who they
His
said.
parents. His parents, yeah.
Okay. And then for Tariq, Estelle, so his grandmother, right? Because they don't know where Tasha is. All right. So when Lorenzo stopped into the room, and Lorenzo is Poppy, everybody, because I know everybody don't know what the father name is, but because I just call him Poppy. But when he stopped into the room, I was like, oh, that's it. They about to pack him up. But then we made it to episode 4. And I was like, oh, okay, he's still here. But I do have a question for you, Mema. Did you notice in episode 3? Now, I know episode 3 happened a while ago. We just watched episode 4 because we are recording on a Friday, guys. Do you remember when they were sitting around the table? It was Kane, Lorenzo, Drew, and they were going over the plot to kill the Russian connect. Do you remember Lorenzo's face when he was trying to talk to Kane and Drew? So Kane is saying, we got to kill this person, and Drew is racking his brain like there has to be a better way to do this, like what there's going to be blowback from this. And I remember distinctly looking at Lorenzo like, oh my gosh, that's the reason why he picked Drew. Because Drew is more level-headed. Drew is not going to make rash or crass decisions like Kane would, because Kane is just going to come in guns blazing, not thinking about everything, even though, sometimes you do have to have brute force and you do have to be the muscle. And we're not saying that Kane is dumb here, because just in the last episode, I was saying I like that they showed that Kane can keep his wits about him and he's not an idiot. Yeah. But one of the things that Kane struggles from is not being able to see the entire chessboard. So did you notice how Lorenzo was looking at them? Like he almost had like a little smirk, like a little pride on his face when he was looking at Drew. No? I'm reading too much into it.
Slightly. He always has these looks when it comes to Kane. Like, and I don't know if it's because he's in that position now of power, or my thing with him and Kane, I just don't feel that fatherly son connection between Kane and Lorenzo. I just don't.
Do you think it could be because he was gone for too long?
I don't know. And Kane is his firstborn, but you would think there would be some type of like bond between the two of them, but they just seem so far apart. Like he's more connected to Drew and Diana, and I don't know. I just really feel like Kane is not his child, but I
do not start. Don't start. Kane is his child. That is his junior. There's no doubts about paternity with Kane being Lorenzo's son.
Okay, quick, off the topic. You're a mom, right? You have 3 kids. Uh-huh. Do you feel a connection with your firstborn as opposed to the your other 2 kids, or is it?
You know what's so funny? I do. I feel a connection with all of them, and I'm not one of those parents who has a favorite child.
Well, here it feels like those 2 are the favorites. Like I don't know what it is about.
It could be because they're younger, and Kane is a little bit more rough than them.
I don't know.
Or it could just be how the actor is portraying it.
Could be, because I feel like with most family dynamics, it always seems like the mother has this thing with her firstborn son, and there's always this connection to that child. And I just feel like Monet and Lorenzo, they just have this thing. Like they always treat Kane like the stepchild?
And, you know, I actually feel the opposite.
Really?
I feel that Monet likes, like, she likes Kane, right? She likes Kane.
Not
Kane
like
is
she
her
likes
son.
Zeke.
Not as much as she likes Zeke,
'Cause
because
Zeke
that's
was her
her
firstborn.
firstborn.
Okay.
And she feels guilt associated with Zeke, right? Because she had to send him away. She couldn't really be the motherly figure to him the way how she wanted to, so she had to play aunt. But the beef that I see is Monet and Diana. Like, they are always at a head. And I feel like Poppy babies Diana because he sees how rough her mom treats her.
Yeah.
And I think that he babies Drew because of his sexuality. And he may think that he's a little softer, so therefore he kind of babies him. But with Kane, he knows that Kane is his son and he's always going to protect him. But Kane is also off the deep end sometimes, right?
He
So
is.
it's only so much he can do to reel him back in. And I think that as we segue into this episode, I think that we saw that in this episode, right? That he is always going to protect his firstborn and he's always going to love him and he's always going to do everything within his power, even if he's trying to blackmail him, right? Even as his dad, he's like, you know what? I'm going to protect you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is that you do. You're still my firstborn. You're still my son. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I can see though people bring up, but I think more so that comes from because of how the actor looks. So because Woody McClain, who plays Kane, is dark skinned, and Alberto Colon, who plays Papi or Lorenzo, is a lighter skinned man of Puerto Rican ethnicity or a Puerto Rican nationality, and he has a fairer skin tone than Kane, I think sometimes people may think that, oh, they're not that close. But I feel like there's a closeness between them. But I think that Kane pushes, he's doing the wrong things for attention, and he is pushing their buttons instead of pulling them towards him in order to get attention.
I agree. I see that. I also feel like this Kane having the upper hand with power now is going to bring them closer. Because I also feel like you said, the father being away for that time, maybe there was a disconnect in the the relationship. And I feel like Kane probably felt like, oh, as soon as he comes out, we're going to be tight. We're going to be doing everything. He's going to make me the right-hand man. And it didn't go that way. So I feel like this position that they're both in right now might make them closer than ever.
I really hope so. When I see, so I guess we'll get into that, what is going to happen between their relationship dynamics as we start going through the scene. So let's just go through, let me just name episode 4. So for Power Book 2 Ghost, this is episode 304 now that we're about to get into. It's titled The Land of Opportunity, directed by Stuart Schill, writer Andre J. Ferguson. So this episode, we talked about druggy bucks, right? We open up episode 4 with a really cringy scene from Effie and the drug workers. They're in the warehouse and they have this whole interaction with Effie sitting in the office above, looking down on them, packing the coffee cups, and she's trying to explain what an 8-ball is and how much everybody gets. And the courier who was carrying the drugs, or the delivery person, I cringed when he said his lines, and I normally I give a lot of people grace on Power, but I was like, what the hell is this? This guy has to be somebody's son. But whatever the case is, where I really died was
His name?
Let's talk about this. Did y'all see this mural that they have for my man Zeke? Why they got Zeke looking goofy and like
Cockeyed.
even though he dead, they still got Zeke looking goofy.
He looked lost.
I swear they are trolling us. Like, they did this on purpose. First of all, when the mural popped up, I said no. Like, I had to pause it and I was like, nah, they got it. They gotta be kidding me. Why was his mouth open? Why was his mouth open?
And his eyes was crossed. Like, it's a drawing. How you cross his
How you
eyes
cross
in
his
the
eyes in the
drawing?
drawing?
Like,
And why is his mouth wide open?
they was capturing
Then-
him in his real form. Okay, lost and slow.
Lost in the sauce. Then here come Mary. Then here come Monet. Look at my baby, looking so good up there. I was like, girl,
Stop.
cut it out.
Stop.
Stop it.
Stop.
they painted it right on the side of the Tejada bar. So just in case you guys were wondering where it was at, it's outside of the Tejada bar, not outside of the Queen's Child Project, but outside of the Tejada bar. But then who approaches? Good old suspended
Whitman.
There we go. So Whitman is like itching for a bullet in his neck at this point. Yeah, he's relentless. Like, how are you suspended and you're still coming to harass her, especially because you were suspended for harassing her? And then his rebuttal to her asking, why are you coming here, is he says, now I have more time to look at you or to like spy on you or whatever his line was. Like, bro.
The balls.
Please.
I feel like Whitman is the new Saxe. Like the new energy. You know how Saxe was on that energy?
Oh my gosh.
And the old power?
The old power?
I feel like Whitman is Saxe times 5. Like he just relentless.
But we know that that's not gonna, unfortunately, that is not gonna last too long. So anyway, Saxe and Jenny, they meet up, right? And they talk about the latest developments with Theo, who is not Redman anymore, right? Keep on. You got to stay on the same page, guys. So he takes a picture of the number calling Jenny as she leaves to talk to Blanca. So we know the number that's calling Jenny is not Blanca. So who is calling Jenny?
Lauren.
That's right, because she want to get the fuck up out that house.
I'm talking about you left her with a can of Spam. Why you think black people eat Spam? Like, what's good with that? I mean, come on.
So keep in mind that Saxe and Blanca don't know about each other at this point. That's why Jenny has to leave the table, and Saxe and Blanca, they don't have a real good relationship because Saxe is the one that set her up and like made her have to, like, they actually had to subpoena her for her to come into trial, for her to talk about, and she actually saved Tariq's butt when she came in because Saxe subpoenaed her, right? So she's the one that actually saved Tariq the last time. Tariq and Tasha, when Tasha was on trial. Anywho,
I have one thing to say about Saxe real quick.
go ahead.
Do you notice the big drastic change in his demeanor and his personality since he's been on the law side of things?
Well, he's always been on the law side. He's now on the defense side instead of working
side.
for the AUSA.
Very like laid back, roses and rose petals, and wants to be in love, and like, who is this guy? I think I miss grimy Saxe, because grimy
He's
Saxe,
still Saxe is still grimy.
He is, but he not giving that energy like when he was trying to take Tommy and Ghost down energy. Like he on some like, okay, that's your brother. Okay, cool, I'll help you. Like, I don't know.
So, okay, I think I get what you're saying about Saxe. The only thing that I will say is, he's not going as hard. Like,
no.
I don't know. Prior to this, I know where Saxe stood, right? I know that he wanted to catch the bad guys. He went about it in the wrong way, but he did want to catch the bad guys. Here, because he's working for McLean, it doesn't feel... It kind of feels disingenuous. Like, who is he trying to catch? He doesn't want to... I guess the thing that's confusing me or like making me not believe him as much is because he doesn't want to catch Tariq. He doesn't care about Tariq here. Tariq is not his problem. As a matter of fact, he tells her, like, why are you going after Tariq? Tariq did not kill this girl. I know he didn't do it, right?
Yes.
Like, and then he says, and then he's just like, okay, well, I will get you Monet. And even that, I kind of feel like he's pulling back a little bit with that. He does take the picture of them in the office last episode, in episode 3. He takes the picture of Tariq, Monet, and Davis sitting together in the office. He does that. Does he show it to her yet?
No, and that's just like him taking the picture of or him finding the burner phone in Davis's drawer.
Thing.
It's like, what is he holding all of this stuff for? Like, he has this
Well,
box.
eventually he's gonna show it to her.
Who? Oh,
to Jenny.
I feel like
I just don't see how that's helping her case, though.
I feel like Saxe, and this could just be me, I feel like Saxe is now starting to see Jenny as who she is. Like, I think before he thought there was a chance of them having this like romantic thing, but I think he's withholding the information he has because he feels she's playing him. And he's thinking
There
it's
you
in
go.
a cheating thing,
Yes.
but he also could be thinking it's on a bigger scheme that she's trying to take him down too, because she's just out to take down everybody. She is not looking at Saxe for love. She's just looking to use him. And I think the reason he hasn't given her all of the pictures and stuff he's found because he's using that because he knows
He's using it as leverage.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I think.
I think I agree with you because he does feel a way. He feels a way that she's not being open with him, that she's hiding something, and that's making him suspicious of her. So I agree with that.
Yeah. I just don't know why he thought they was going to ride off into the sunset, but
I think because he's getting a little bit long in the tooth, so he's getting a little bit older. He's getting a little older. He's like, "You're not dealing with nobody. I'm not dealing with nobody. Why we can't deal with nobody together?"
She don't want you like that. Like,
Yeah, but he doesn't get it. He's like, "You're single. I'm single.
You got
We humping.
you got Salim one day in
Oh
getting
my
all
gosh!
of the.
Nah, they've been on a couple already. It's not Salim level yet. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, no, that goes
Okay,
there.
speaking of other love interests, right? Who knew that? I've heard people say this, but maybe my head was just in the clouds, and I just didn't realize this. But did you realize that Kane liked Effie like this?
No, but I think his love has grown for her from seeing how much of a G she is, and also she kind of like Monet, like Monet liked Kane too. But I'm just saying, like, she has. I think it's turning him on, like her actions of always having the team's back and doing whatever she has to get the job done. Like, she's manning up more than Braden and Tariq, and I think that's just doing it for him.
Okay.
He's feeling like she's his Bonnie, like a Bonnie and Clyde type of thing. Like, she's just as ruthless as him. They could take over the world together. I think he always thought she was attractive, but him realizing all the stuff she's doing behind the scenes is really like doing it for him.
Turning him on.
Yeah.
Turning
He's
him
like,
on.
She should be with me.
She should be with me, not this little sucker.
Yeah.
Speaking of the little sucker, did you see my man? He got a brand new Porsche, baby.
Talking about he used to have a BMW. Black
He was
man
like,
walking.
"You ain't have nothing." He was a black man walking. But Tariq has a car, and not just any car, guys. He has a Porsche, and he pays homage to his Uncle Tommy because he got the same color, right?
Got
the same color
didn't
as
even
Tommy.
notice that.
Yeah, so he got a nice little blue Porsche.
I
And
want to
so-
like Tariq. I do.
You don't like Tariq? Oh.
Listen, I'm still
You
one of
scarred-
those people still
You scarred
salty.
from power.
Did you see the opening of the episode? This episode recently when he was standing at the
Where he's standing looking over and
You
Weston.
like-
I'm like, you an intern. What are you doing? Why are you standing up like ghosts?
This is not truth. Like, why you standing up there like this is yours? Like, what? This is not the Queen Child's project. Like, you don't own this. Like, he there like,
Yo,
yes,
I
look at
got
my
it.
workers.
Look at my workers standing up. But no. But
They always trying to
Mema,
they
wait.
try to put these images in like this is the new ghost, and I'm not here for it. I'm not here for that little. Ooh,
Mema,
stop. Okay, I'm
Wait.
done. I'm done.
wait, hold on. let me gather myself. He's standing up overseeing. Because remember, the reason why he's standing there is because he sees the courier coming with the druggy bucks. So that's why he's standing up there observing like ghosts.
You didn't see his suit?
It didn't fit as well as Ghost because Amari Hardwick's body. Hey,
Who is
hey.
styling Tariq? He be just wearing some stuff sometimes that's just like
No, I like how he dressed. I don't like
the coat he had on today. This episode.
Yeah, the coat he had on today, I feel like it was a little too big. It was a little too big, especially within the shoulder area.
Put a little clamp in the back.
They could have
it.
put some safety pins back there. They could. They could.
Like he just still not giving suave.
But I mean, he's only 19. He still has to grow into this. The character is 19.
You remember being 19, and we had those fly dudes that just did it, and he just not giving. I mean, I'm not in that age bracket, but I feel like they're trying to say Tariq is the new ghost, and he's just not giving what his father was given.
Well, so and I like that. I don't want Tariq to be Ghost because I hated Ghost.
What? What? What?
Listen, Ghost made the show what it was, but I couldn't stand him. Like I couldn't stand. Ghost used to do such horrible things to everybody,
So
right?
you don't think
He used to manipulate them. He killed people. He manipulated his entire family, his wife, side chick, brother, Tommy, his children, everything. Like he was horrible to everyone, and he used his financial power over them to manipulate them. Even after his death, look at what the whole reason why Tariq is selling drugs right now, hard body, is because he has to pay for tuition. He has to pay for his mother's lawyer because his father locked up everything in a trust and he has no access to it. This is complete financial manipulation.
But he had to give Tariq some type of structure. Imagine if he gave Tariq.
He tried to send Tariq to jail. He tried to send his own son to jail. Would your mother send you to jail?
She probably would.
Oh my God.
She probably would. She threatened to call the cops on me a couple times because I was an unruly child. But like this is Caribbean parents. I don't know if they have a Caribbean background, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
But
Oh my gosh.
I feel like you're looking at it one side.
No, I'm looking at it at a lot of sides, right? Because I do see the value in Ghost, right? I know that he kept a drug operation going, right? But then he also got his friend arrested so that he wouldn't be outed as Ghost. And he set his friend up. Didn't even tell his friend what the play was. Let him walk in blind. And then said, oh, I'm going to get you out. By manipulated the woman that he was sleeping with that wasn't his wife. All right. I see your face. Let's keep going. Still, we gotta go. We can't talk about. Listen, we can talk about power.
That's gonna be another. That's
another podcast.
Thing,
we still got 20 more minutes to go on this one.
Let's go. Let's
Okay,
go with
so let's
Tariq.
keep going through episode 4 because a lot of stuff happened in this
let's
episode.
go.
All right. So in the beginning of the episode, and I skipped over this part because I was too eager to get to Tariq's car and the druggy bucks and all of that stuff. But remember, Obi comes and tells them now they got to start selling guns. That's what Mecca did, and that's what you guys have to do because you guys said that you can replace Mecca. So now you have to, not only do you have to sell all of the influx of product that's coming your way, but you also have to sell illegal firearms and guns and other type of guns, right? So they come up with the plan for Brayden to do whiteface, right? So they want Brayden to be the whiteface to go up to sell to a white militia group. Why do they need to do this? Because these people are extremely racist, and Brayden is their only bet of them getting out of it alive. So Kane and Renzo, or Poppy, drive upstate with Brayden. However, we find out that there is a CI in the white militia group because Blanca had the CI in that group. And then they end up trying to rob Kane and Poppy. But Lorenzo, being the OG that he is, knew, like, hey, I know that these guys are going to try to rob us. Because what else would they do? They don't know Brayden from a hole in the wall, right?
Facts.
They don't know. And wait, whose connect was this? This was Gordo's and them connect?
Yeah.
Right? Or like they knew them, right?
Yeah, Gordo said that he has these white boys that's always asking him for guns and
okay,
that
so they
was
sent
just
them up there, right?
So
they're like, well,
too.
how do you know them? And Brayden, he plays it cool. He's like, listen, you want this or not? I never told you my name. You don't need to know my name. That's that, right? So Brayden, hurry up, gets out of there, gets out of Dodge, drives away from the hotel room, is out. And then what happens? Big ambush. So Kane is dead set on counting this money in the hotel room. I have no idea why. And Lorenzo has like a sixth sense. He's like, no, this is like the Jay-Z, what's the Jay-Z line where Jay-Z came in and he robbed the people and he's like, a gun in your face and this is all you could come up with? But whatever the case is. So they run in the hotel room. They start shooting and Poppy is letting it blow for his son, okay? Letting it blow. Nobody is going to kill Kane on his watch. Nobody. So he is backing them down, and then who comes through? Who comes through?
Drew.
Drew with Gordo, baby. Drew comes through with Gordo, pulls up, and they shoot it out, and they make it out alive. And Gordo gets grazed by a bullet. Now, did I vomit when he had to clean his wound? Yes, I did. I did. I couldn't believe the face he made when Drew had to put the gauze on the cut. I screamed. I was like, oh my gosh. He was like, oh. He did like a little whimper. But then again, I never been shot, so I guess I can't talk too much.
You know I was rolling my eyes.
I know you was rolling.
I jumped up out the chair like, we doing this right now? They just shot y'all up and y'all having a love session in the car.
In the car after you just got shot.
Why do you always get like that part of Drew just it's like stay focused.
Stay focused, Drew. Stay
This is not
focused.
the time to run off into the sunset,
It's
bro.
not. It's not, Drew. Drew, this is not the time.
Always.
This is not the time. So Kiki, then Kiki and Brayden, like, did they have like a little? I can't remember if it's
Kiki
from Weston Holdings.
Was she in this episode?
Was she?
I don't
feel
think
like
so.
She wasn't. Am I mixing?
You
stuff
mixing
up?
it? Yeah, she wasn't in this. I don't remember seeing her in this episode.
Okay, wait. I think that may have been another episode where him and her they kind of like did the do.
Yeah, no, that was
okay.
That was when he set up that guy to lose his intern.
Okay, right. Okay. Then, let's see what happens. Before the whole shootout scene, we do see our good brother Salim. I was actually saving this, right? Good brother Holy Hotep Salim and that sweater that looked like Pocahontas. Pocahontas sweater.
I want to know how the sweater got shoulder pads with no shoulders.
With the big drawn out neck.
Yeah, like,
and it was a 3/4 sleeve. Like it was so much stuff going on with that sweater.
On that sweater, yes. But it didn't have no shoulders and collar.
Oh my god, it looked like an indigenous person's sweater.
Indigenous.
It looks like indigenous. It looked very indigenous chic.
I mean, Salim Petey McGee.
But let me keep it on track here. Let me keep it on track.
Go ahead.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, do you want to tell us something else that happened with Salim? What else did Salim do? Because I do want to get to the land of opportunity scene, but do you want to talk about Salim and Diana?
We have to.
Go ahead. So I'm going to let you do it because
Salim,
I feel a little biased.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad. He is playing a character and he's doing a great job because
I can't stand him.
Yes. Salim is a hell of an actor, okay? Because he is doing a great job of getting under all of our skin. And it's like the struggle I have with Drew and Diana is they're too emotional. Like they're smart, but then they're very naive in the same.
But they're still young.
Same thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you wouldn't tell a stranger on the street, like, your name, but you're gonna just give it up to this guy that just told you you're pretty for one day and you're like just confiding in him. Like, what did he do to make her feel so secure with him?
So here's what I'll say about the character. Excuse me. I do think that Salim, the character, is doing a little too much.
Thank you.
And I said that to the actor when we were talking about the character. Like, why were you at Zeke's funeral? Right? I get it that Zeke is the basketball star, but okay, you're there, but why the hell are you sitting beside Diana?
Question. Are they trying to, and I could have missed this part and I wasn't paying attention, but are they trying to say that Salim was always at Stansfield when Zeke was there and we're just now seeing him because he's like the TA?
I guess that's what they're saying because he's a grad student. So Salim is a grad student working as a TA, and I guess they're trying to say everybody knew him. Salim was always there. We're just meeting him now because we have a new professor and she has a TA.
But do you notice he doesn't interact with anybody else? Like, I feel like if allegedly he's been on Stansfield, he really is not talking to like Tariq and what's her name?
Well,
Effie
they
stuff
wouldn't have
like
had
that.
to have known him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the way he's so familiar, or just, like, he just targeted Diana, I feel like he came
Because
in.
she's new.
And it was just like, and then it's like, now that I know he's a grad student, it's like, dude, were you there watching the freshman? Because she's a freshman, right?
Mm-hmm. She's a freshman.
So he's just giving creep. I'm sorry, but he's giving creep vibes on a lot of levels.
So this whole class is a lot for me, right? Because Tariq is not still a freshman, right? Like Tariq finished how many semesters? Even if the past 2 seasons was 2 semesters, so Tariq should be a sophomore by now. Right? Because he's 19. They made sure to say that Tariq is 19 years old. So he's finished his first year. Why the hell is he still in the same class as Diana? And how is Effie in the same class as all of them? And Effie, so all of them are all in the same class. And I don't know what's happening. Unless, like, this class, it's just something that is ongoing and you just get recruited into it, and that's how you go through their time.
She did say she personally picked these people
to be in the class.
In this
so
class.
Then that answers
so it
that.
Probably doesn't have a level like sophomore, junior.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
just
100 or 200 or 300.
It's probably
level.
just a course, and they all asked to be a part of it. She handpicked them or whatever. We're gonna talk about her in another time, but I just
like, Keisha Sharp, the professor.
Yes, I feel like everybody is just a part of a bigger thing.
Yeah. So, but back to Salim.
Yes.
So what I will say about Salim's character is that I do think that he's doing a little bit too much.
Okay.
And what I do kind of take a little bit. Okay. So first of all, that scene with him and Diana in the bed. Oh my God. First of all, I don't like...
Why do we need to see that?
I don't like sex scenes. That's number one. You could call me a prude. You could call me whatever it is that you want to call me. But I don't like them. Especially, like, if I'm watching a show. Like, I don't mind if they, like, insinuate that it's about to happen or that, like, stuff like that. I don't mind if they insinuate it. But I don't need the whole thing.
Yeah.
But because... You know what the other issue is? I'm sorry that I'm breaking away. I'll say this really quickly. Because I don't know how old everyone is, like, it's all up in the air. I don't know how old Drew is. I don't know how old Diana is. It makes me feel uncomfortable to watch them like this because the way how I thought of them, because obviously they weren't in school, I thought they were little kids.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be little kids, right? Who did want to go to college. But then Salim jumps in. Now, bringing it back to what we were talking about, Salim jumps in, who just met this girl and is telling her to break ties from her family? Now, let's bring it to real life for a second. And I understand that this is not real life. I understand that this is a show. But these things are based, like, you're writing for a person. And you're writing to kind of make sense, I guess. But if I just started dating somebody, you can't tell me about my mother and my father.
Exactly.
At all.
Why
even
is he
if I
so
agree with you,
comfortable?
like, exactly.
He's just very comfortable. Like, just from the jump when he came into the gym, they're doing a memorial for her brother,
her brother
cousin that passed, and in the middle of it, you like, you too pretty to cry. Like, sir, go and find a seat, sir.
Go find a seat.
Go and find the seat, please, because then he takes a seat next to her. So that part is like, why are you so comfortable? Come on, like, let's keep it real. We're New Yorkers, right? We are not super friendly. I'm not saying we're all mean, but would you really allow a guy to just sit next to you that just in the middle of a moment like that? I just feel like that's just not realistic to who the character she's playing, to the family she has. Like, you need to be a little more cautious. And it's just like, she's just very like lax with him, and it's just very odd to me.
Yeah, I do agree that she's a little naive, especially with dating him. I don't think he has, for right now anyway, I don't predict that he is an informant or anything like that.
Okay. Also, just quick point, it's like your focus at some point, she really liked Tariq. Like, that was her whole reasoning for wanting to go to the school. Mm-hmm. And I that was that episode 3. I don't know.
The
No.
what about with her and Effie?
Yes.
That was episode 3. Go
That
ahead, tell
was-
me about that because I remember you talking to me about this. Go ahead.
Yes. The fact that they walk into the store and then she goes and hides. It's like
That was episode 2.
Oh, that was episode 2. My
Okay,
bad.
so episode 3 is when she confronts Effie coming down the steps from where they put the drugs.
Yes. And then she's like, "Well, why did you not want me to talk to Tariq?" But it's like, am I not remembering wrong? Didn't she know that Diana? I mean, didn't she know that Effie and Tariq was dating?
So I don't know if she knew that they dated before.
I feel like there was a
I
scene
feel
where they
like-
got into it before.
Well, not in front of her. The only thing that I do know that she knows about them, because Effie did kind of intimate to her that, hey, Tariq is not the guy for you. And I think she may have said something along the lines of, oh, I used to deal with him, but not anymore. And like, that's when they showed us that she was bi, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
and then she pretty much told Diana, yo, you should pretty much leave him alone because he is not for you. That's not where you need to be. But girl, Diana, she don't got no loyalty towards you at all. That's not your friend, number 1.
Facts.
And then number 2, you could tell that she still liked him. And it's and
Facts.
it's as simple as that. She's gonna push out all of the competition, literally push out the competition. Yo, how did you feel about watching her push the car into the water?
Since when is Effie the Hulk?
I don't know.
Because I was like, come on. She really pushed that car in the water.
It's not just that she pushed the freaking car in the water, right? It's that she pushed the car in the water and miraculously someone wait.
But first of all, that random guy walking
The random
in the
guy
back
walking
of,
the dog
of a power plant.
Oh my god.
Like who? Where was that?
I don't know. But then he comes. We don't know how long it took her to push the car. How far away she drove. And he come walk the dog at 3:00 in the morning, right? And then the cops made it there in enough time to pull her out of the water.
Yeah.
Let me stop. I'm gonna stop because I think I went on for like a good 20 minutes about that the last time.
No, because I don't know that Effie could push a car.
I don't know that either.
Does she bodybuild? Is that a backstory of
that
hers
a
we don't know
backstory that
before
we
she
don't
came
know?
to Stansfield? Because
I'm not saying that she's not strong. I'm just saying that I've had to push my own car before, and it took me and another person to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. So the way it played out in my head, since they never told us how exactly she died, Lauren got killed, I thought it was her and Kane. Like Effie drove Lauren to Kane, and they both took care of that part.
That's also another question, right?
So if
how
if it
does
would have
Kane
been
know
like
that she did it?
he knows because wait, how did he know? Because he saw that Brayden was scared to pull the trigger for that connect. So he was like, if you're a seasoned killer, because you killed Lauren, it should have been a no thing for you to kill the connect, which he struggled to do. And he's always struggling to kill somebody. So he was like, somebody else had to do it, which was Effie, because she told him the job was done. But yeah, I thought that Effie took Lauren and brought her to Kane, and they took care of it together. But now when they created the story, they could at least put Kane in the picture of pushing the car.
Pushing the car, yes. Okay, but okay.
Okay.
So Effie asked Kane not to tell Tariq about Lauren. She wants to tell him herself. So you remember that part, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then let's get to Monet and Diana. So what I didn't mention in the Zeke mural scene is that Diana walks up with flowers. We see Whitman, and Whitman is there, but we get distracted because Monet starts cursing out Whitman. Papi Tejada is like, do we have a problem here? And then they have an emergency family meeting about them involving Frank's sons.
Yes.
Right? And then Monet knows that she can use her leverage as a mom against her own daughter. Here comes more of the manipulation, because she knows that her daughter wants to be back in the loop. So she goes to go visit Diana at school and tells her, I'm sorry, in a Monet way, which wasn't really a sorry, and says, hey, I need you to do this for the family because Whitman is really messing with us right now. So Diana goes and meets with Whitman and lies to him. Or she kind of tells the truth. She sent me here to lie to you. But this is all a ploy to get him to go in the house, right? And we find out that Monet sent Diana there not just to get him in the house for her to call the cops and get him arrested to show that he's crossing the line, to which he was. Even if she didn't kill him, why on earth would he want to go in the house to go get evidence and he's suspended? It's still bad.
Yes.
But he comes in the house and to Diana's surprise, Monet kills him.
Yes.
And she's like, this is not, like, in the middle of the gunshot, that's not what I signed up for. And there goes her mom manipulating her again.
Yeah, like when she came to the school and she was like, oh, now you're talking to me? She was like, is that what you needed? Like,
yeah, that was so
and then
mean.
she was like, okay, now I need you to do something for me. It's like, gosh, this is like a cold relationship.
Very cold relationship with her daughter.
But.
And the baby. She's the baby.
She's the reason that all of this mess, we know in the bigger scheme of things, it's Monet's fault because she kept the secret. But Diana was the troublemaker because remember, right before Lorenzo went to that warehouse, Diana was in his ear telling him.
Yes. Yeah.
And she set him off.
But he thought that. But in her defense, he thought he was going to go save him. Because Mecca was the problem.
Yes.
So I don't like. Remember, we have more information than what they all have.
Yeah.
And Diana is doing what any other little girl would do with their dad.
But see, this is my problem too with Diana. It's like you want to be involved where you're investigating your mom's secrets and telling your dad, okay, she's dealing with this guy named Dante who's Zeke's dad. But then when he shows up to your college for you to push drugs, you're like, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to focus on school. You can't be in it and not in it.
But telling your dad about your mom's extramarital affairs or previous affairs is not the same thing as criminal activity.
It's not, but it's fueling the fire.
Okay.
It's fueling the fire. Like my thing is if you're gonna wash your hands on it, wash your hands on it, especially with the mother you have. Like, I don't know. Did you really think Monet was gonna smile and be like, I'm sorry, you know? It's like her meddling is fueling all of this stuff, and then I feel like she tries to withdraw and be like, nope, I just want to focus on school now.
Yeah, so she definitely throws rocks and then hides her hands.
And that's my problem with her. Like, yeah, it's not the same level, but she's still messy regardless. My thing is, if you want to focus on school, I would forget that I have a druggy family
big drug family
and go to my books. You know what I'm saying? But she doesn't do that.
She's trying to do that, right?
Not now, because everybody hates her, but her mother
can't stand her living guts.
Yes. So now she wants to be like, okay, let me go with Salim and focus on school. Because she's trying to hide. Like, she's kind of happy that she's at Stansfield because she doesn't have to feel the wrath of her mom.
Yeah.
But she's the one who kind of stirred the pot. And now she's trying to act like, no. I don't want no parts of this. Like, you should have never got involved. Because they tried to keep her out of it.
Her dad did. Not her mom.
Because was she really, like, in the beginning of the shows, was she really she wasn't pushing anything. She was always kind of kept in the house.
Well, yes and no. So Monet always like involved her in some sort of way. Whereas she was the person that was gonna do the counting, or they kept
or
like
driving,
or the
or
driving.
Yeah.
They integrated her in different ways. Like, she wasn't completely innocent, and she will be guilty by association.
Yeah,
but she is the only one that doesn't have a rap sheet.
Okay.
Now, we are done recapping the episode. Now, for me, my question for you is, what do you think is going to happen in the 5th episode or going forward? What are some of Mema's predictions?
Okay, so first thing, I feel like the same way that Kane was able to narrow down who killed Zeke, and how, you know, like it just doesn't seem like it was hard for them to figure out. I kind of feel like the Castillo boys know that Monet took out their dad, or did. I think they're all it's all a part of the bigger plan.
And what do
I
you
don't
think
I
about
don't
Monet finding the partial print from from Papi Tejada? That, first of all, that partial print shit. Like, how would a cop have that in his file in his house? Like, come on, Power.
Facts.
Come on.
But like I said, you know, now it's just making it seem like it wasn't hard for them to find, because they have partial prints. Kane uncovered it real quickly, like in a day. So it's like, it's not looking too good for Lorenzo. I don't think he's gonna I think Monet is definitely gonna bring it to his attention. I don't know if she's gonna take him out or she's gonna try to make somebody else do it. I don't know, but it's definitely gonna, now her eyes are open, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I sorry, just to finish that point, but the Castillo boys, the way that when Drew just was like, oh, we need to move these guns, and then he's like, oh, there's these white boys upstate that, you know, always ask me for guns. And towards the end of the episode, I realized that I think they were the CI for Blanca.
Who?
The white boys from upstate.
Yeah. We said that earlier.
Yes, right?
That's why they went to go. This happened in this episode, right? They went to the hospital.
I think so. But the point I'm making is that the fact that he knew to throw out the CI to buy the guns, like, I feel like the Castillo boys are working with the CI, could be, but a lot is brewing in that part, because it was like, out of all the people that they could, so I just feel like, I don't know if Gordo is playing Drew and playing Kane and all of them. I don't know if that's really a genuine thing, because the same way, like I said, that Kane was able to discover who took out Zeke and stuff like that, why wouldn't they be able to do their footwork to figure out who killed their dad?
I agree.
So
I agree.
That's all I predict.
It bugs me out how some things are so easy for everyone else to find, and then the people who are supposed to find it can never see it.
Exactly.
But I mean, maybe that happens in real life too. Guys, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mema, for coming on with me today. I had a blast with you. I know that. I hope my laugh is not too loud, but I love to laugh. And Mema, we always crack up.
Yes.
We have a good time talking about power and a host of other things too. It has been real. Keep a lookout for new interviews that we do have dropping. I have some goodies coming. And if you haven't already, please watch the Petey McGee interview. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow on IG. Have a good week, guys.